Welcome back, everyone. Lieutenant Alec Coil is back with us today. He's the commander of the Lima Highway Patrol Post. We're talking about driving in the snow, and invariably when we do this, it's 52 degrees outside. But we know it's going to get cold again, and we're going to have to do that. Is it the same old thing as far as giving yourself better stopping distance, giving yourself more time, slowing down, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it never really changes. We just have to get back in the mindset each time, kind of like when the school buses start again.
Yeah.
We've already had a pretty good snowstorm this year, or just last year, but so we got a little bit of an idea of what we're getting into. I think it's going to get worse as we get into later January and February for sure, so we got to get back in that mindset.
I think about my car and my tires, because I can tell a huge difference, especially if you have a front-wheel drive car and you're not four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Is that where it starts as far as maintaining your car, the tires and windshield wipers, those kind of things?
Yeah, and you can see all these tips on the internet. NHTSA puts out tips. Basically, it's the same old stuff. It's your battery. Make sure that that's operational, so you get stuck somewhere and can't start it. Your tires. Make sure you got good tread depth in there. The legal limit of tread depth is very small, but the recommended is where it's nearly brand new.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you got plenty of tread depth in there to get the snow and water through your tires as you're going through it. Make sure that you got good wipers, and something else you got to think about is the fluid, the cleaning fluid, with all the junk that gets put on the windshield. You got to have that fluid topped off, and then keep an eye on it throughout the season. You may have to do it more than once during the winter.
If I go back to my driver's ed days, and they would always say if you started to slide, you steer into the skid. Is that still the recommendation? Is that the best way to go? And what does that mean? Because a lot of people would do it the opposite way.
Yeah, you're gonna get kind of into the complicated range there when you start talking about it. You try to avoid sliding, so what the idea would be is if you're on bridges or overpasses, things that you're going to have that tend to freeze faster. Once it's already snowing and it's already been on the ground for a while and you already got ice, people tend to drive better. It's really that beginning time where it starts to get bad and you start to snow, or you left before it started, and so that transition time, and maybe the plows haven't been in that area, or you don't have salt in that area yet, and so once it's kind of those times where we really recommend that you're paying attention to the weather prior to, like the night before. Look at your phone app. Listen to what Nathan's saying, you know, every day to try to plan what the next day or that day is going to be like. And if you can look at those forecasts and say, all right, tomorrow is going to be below freezing. So that's a big one. Even if you don't see precipitation, you know, freezing could bring ice somewhere that you don't know about, might already be wet. But if you start seeing precipitation and those cold temperatures the night before or before you start your trip, you know that you're going to have to deal with that sort of thing. And so plan accordingly with your trip time. You know, allow more time for your trip, and allow more distance between vehicles before you come to stoplights or stop signs. That way you don't rear end somebody. You know, make more time to be able to, you know, if you reduce your speed, you can turn easier. Stop easier, go easier, just kind of slow everything down.
Yeah, give yourself time. That's the key. All right, well, thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate it. It's good seeing you. Delaware Medical News coming up next on Noon Edition.